Alright, what's up everybody? This video is about adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. So have something to write with, have a piece of paper, you can take some notes as I go along. You can pause as you need to. Here we go, let's get moving. Adding with negative numbers is the first thing we're going to think about. Adding with negative numbers is really just the same thing as subtracting, okay? So when you see something that looks like this or this, 2 plus negative 2, those are both the same thing, you're really just subtracting, okay? We are going to use the number line to help us do problems like this. Okay, so you can draw out a number line if you need to, or you can just do it in your head using a number line that you're just thinking about in your mind. I will have a number line here on the notes screen that might be able to help us out. Let's do some examples here. This is negative 2 plus negative 5, and I got my number line right here. So I'm going to start at negative 2. That's where I begin. And remember, adding a negative number is really just the same thing as subtracting. So if I'm adding negative 5, that really means I'm subtracting 5, which means I need to go to the left, go down the number line 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives me a negative 7. So this, negative 2 plus negative 5, is negative 7. Okay, so all I did was subtract 5 from where I started at negative 2. Let's do some more examples. Negative 3 plus negative 6. And it's just subtracting. So I started negative 3. And I'm going to go down the number line. I'm going to get more negative. I've got to move to the left 6 spaces. So maybe you can do it in your head. Just think, what's 3 plus 6? Well, maybe you know it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it gets me to negative 9. Let's do some more. Negative 2 plus negative 7. Maybe you can see a trick here. Just ask yourself, well, they're both negative. What's 2 plus 7? Well, again, it's going to be 9, but it's going to be negative because both of them are negative, but let's just verify. I start at negative 2. I'm adding a negative, which is the same thing as subtracting. I got to go down the number line. So I'm going to go down 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, that gets me negative 9. Okay? So adding a negative, same thing as subtracting. Well, what if you start with a positive number? Let's look at that. I have 4 plus negative 8. Remember, adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting. So I start at 4. I'm adding negative 8, which is the same thing as subtracting 8. So I'm going to go left down the number line, 8 spaces. This is going to get a little bit different, though, because I'm going to go into the negative numbers. You'll see what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we go down 8 spaces, I end up at negative 4. So that's going to be my answer to this one. Okay. So 4 plus negative 8 is the same thing as 4 minus 8. It gets me down to negative 4. Let's look at another example. Negative 10 plus 7. Well, this one's a little bit different now. Now the negative number is first, and I have a positive number afterwards. So let's just think about it using the number line. I'm starting at negative 10 down here. I'm just adding 7. Well, there's nothing cute about that. There's nothing special about that. I'm just adding 7, just like we normally would. Since I'm adding a positive number, it's just addition. It's simple addition, just like we've always done. That means you're getting bigger. You're going right up the number line. 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gets me negative 3. Okay, maybe you could do that one in your head. Just think, what's the difference between 10 and 7? Well, it's 3, but since I started at a negative number, I'm going to have a negative number as my answer. And you can always use the number line to help you. All right, one more example here. 1 plus negative 9. Well, I'm starting at 9, or yeah, I'm starting at 1, sorry. I'm adding negative 9, so it's the same thing as subtracting. Okay, so I'm going to go left down the number line. 9 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that gets me down to -8. That's where I end. Okay? So again, big thing to take away from these examples. Adding a negative number is the same thing as subtracting. Okay? And you can always use the number line to help you if you don't know what to do with the negative number. Okay, let's look at some other ones. Now we're subtracting. We were adding before, now I'm subtracting, which is a little bit different. Again, we'll just use the number line. Okay, the number line is our friend here. It's going to make life a lot easier. -8, that's where I start. It's -8 minus 2. Well, we know what -2 means. It means you're just taking 2 away, right? You're going down 2. So you go left down the number line 2 places. 1, 2. Not too crazy, right? It's -10. I had to go 2 places down the number line because I was just subtracting. Just so happened that I started at a negative number. So again, the number line helps us, makes things a little easier. Let's do another one. 12 minus 15. So 12 is kind of off my number line here. Let's just put it right here. 11, there's 12. So I'm starting here, okay? I'm going down 15 places, all right? So you could count out all 15 places if you want to, but you might be able to do this one in your head if you think about it. What's the difference between 12 and 15? Well, you could do it in your head and know that it's 3, right? There's 3 in between 12 and 15. So if I go 12 minus 15, well, I'm going to get down to 0, but then I'm still going to have 3 places to go, right? So the difference is 3, but since I'm subtracting a number that's bigger, I'm going beneath 0, which gets me into the land of negative numbers, right? So this one is going to get me -3. But if you want to use the number line, we can count it out. We'll just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's even a -3. But again, sometimes it's a little bit easier to try to do it in your head. All right, last part of this video. When you're subtracting a negative number, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding. So this is a rule that we're going to use a lot in this class. Think about a problem like this. 10 minus -6. Notice how I am subtracting a negative number. So there's 2 minus signs right there. Anytime you see 2 minus signs, subtracting a negative number, that means you're really going to add these things. So you could even change it all to addition if you want to. Just think about it as 10 plus 6. You probably don't even need the number line for it. It's 16. If you subtract a negative number, that's the same thing as adding. That gets us 16. Let's do one more example here. I have -3 minus -4. So again, I'm subtracting a negative. That's the same thing as adding. So I'll turn it into an addition problem. Now it's -3 plus 4. Well, we can do the number line. Start at -3. I'm adding 4. Again, addition is just addition. You're going up the number line. There's nothing fancy about it. Great. I'm adding 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this gets me 1. Might be able to do that one in your head. What's the difference between 3 and 4? Well, it's 1, right? And since the bigger number was positive, our answer is positive. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks, guys.